Welcome back to my doll repaint video. I'm going to start by taking the body of the doll and then I'll throw it in the garbage. Then I'll build the brand new doll from scratch using only pencil erasers and paper clips. And then 18 coats of Mr. Super Clear. Welcome! Hey there! And welcome back to Mr. Larry's Craft Show, your weekly exploration into arts, crafts, and all things creative. And today, if you can't tell by my surroundings, Mr. Larry, why are you surrounded by all these doll parts? I'm gonna explain. We're talking about toys. Okay, we're actually talking about dolls, and specifically, doll repainting. Today's video is all about giving you an introduction to doll repainting with basic tips and tricks that come from the best in the business, if you ask me. And then I'll share with you some progress and hopefully the completion of a pet project I've been working on for some time. So not to bring it down too much, y'all, but this project coincides with one of the most sacred, holy, most important events in the cosmos. And that is the 99th birthday of the incomparable, the incredible, the all-powerful Betty White. Now, y'all know I am the Golden Girls fan. We all know that I have a very special place in my heart for the Golden Girls and a very special place in my home for Dorothy. But it's important to know that I share a deep, unyielding affection for all of the girls. So Betty White's birthday being right around the corner, like the universe is telling me to get to work. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna share 3 things with you real quick, and then we'll jump into, hopefully, making a doll of Betty White. Thing number 1, toy customization is not something that's new, but doll painting has taken off a lot in the last decade, especially online. Doll painting is exactly what it sounds like, taking a doll that exists and repurposing it to fit your own creative needs. Artists of all levels, genres, and from all over the world have brought their very own one-of-a-kind customizations to life, celebrity dolls, or their own variations of existing characters. And one of my absolute favorite of these artists is Poppen Atelier. And that brings us to thing number 2.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel!
Marina, aka Poppen Atelier, is a Belarusian doll painter who presents her amazing work from Belgium each week via her YouTube channel.
Let's finally take a look at our winter queen. Or what is her name? The Antarctic mermaid. I already forgot who I've made.
She is incredibly talented. Her voice is amazing. She truly is my favorite doll painter, and she's one of my favorite people on YouTube in general. And if you haven't seen it yet, you should check it out. I hope she forgives me for my terrible impression of her because it is truly done in love. She often collaborates with her mother, who produces a lot of her costumes for the dolls, and they are top notch. You should just go check them out. I'll be pretty much using the same techniques and materials as Poppen, starting with 100% acetone to help us remove the doll's face. And then we'll be using Mr. Super Clear, which is a matte spray sealant. We'll also be using soft pastels or chalk pastels. And then probably the most important material when it comes to actually drawing the doll are these water-soluble color pencils. These are Derwent brand. We have all of our materials, which means we are ready to prep our doll and then get started on the project. And that brings us to thing number 3. So a typical doll repaint begins by stripping the doll of any kind of paint using 100% pure acetone, and then sealing the face and body with 3 coats minimum of Mr. Super Clear, allowing it to dry for about 30 minutes in between each coat. In some cases, you'll need to remove your doll's hair. My project today doesn't require all of those steps because I started this 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I got the bright idea to do a Golden Girls doll set of my very own. Started sketching them out, and then I sort of chickened out, I guess. I've only done a little bit of doll painting before, and probably my most successful one of the 2 or 3 that I've done has been this unfinished face for Shuri. And I think I did a really nice job, and I definitely plan to finish her, but I kind of got scared and thought, oh, what if it doesn't come out good? Well, it doesn't come out as anything if you don't finish it. So she's definitely next in line. But first, Betty White is 99 years old. Okay, like, I'm running out of time. She has an 80-year television career. That is the longest of all time. So I think that it's completely appropriate that we celebrate her in our most Larry way possible. I have started by sealing her face and body, and then I sketched in her face and did just a little bit of contouring to get started. So from here, I'll continue on with my pencils and the soft pastels and just build her face up layer by layer until I get something that looks like Betty White. Then we'll dress her, we'll do her hair. I'm nervous, y'all. I'm so nervous. And what if she sees this doll and she's like, Do y'all think Betty White would ever be like, Maybe I can just... I don't think it's working. Let's go. I'm approaching this doll repaint the same way I typically approach a painting or makeup, and I'm starting with these very light contours, and then I'll add in some darks, and then I'll go for my midtones and sort of blend them all together over a series of many different layers. You can assume that every time you see a cut in this video, that's a moment where I'm applying more Mr. Super Clear and then waiting 30 minutes or 20 minutes sometimes, because that has to be done very often throughout this process. So it does take a lot of time, but it's definitely worth it. The feeling of the pencil against that texture is really nice, and so it does make for a perfect doll repaint surface. Another very important tip is to make sure that your pencils are as sharp as possible throughout the process. Because we're working on a very small face, all of those fine details have to be really precise. So a sharp pencil is going to be the best bet for that. I start to build up the darker areas by going in with a deeper brown, and then eventually I'll go in with a black and just kind of blend the colors the way that I would a traditional drawing. Painting a doll's face, especially at this scale, reminds me a lot of the drag video that we did. We're trying to force perspectives and make the illusion of certain features and depths and highlights and so forth, and we can do all of that by applying color and warmth in deliberate ways. And so with a little bit of practice with makeup and drawing, you can sort of bridge all of those different areas together. Next, I'll use a small amount of white acrylic paint. This will ensure that I get the brightest white exactly where I want it, which is going to be the catch lights in her eyes. And I'm also going to use it to lighten up the whites of her eyes a little bit. As I near the end of her face paint, I'll go back in and just add a little bit more contrast where it's needed, especially with the white areas, because I want her face to look like it has dimension. I think at this point I'm pretty much done with all of the painting part, so now I'll begin working on her clothing and accessories. So the dress that she's wearing is something that I purchased, as is the hat and the purse. I filled it with some trinkets that I found and actually put this together with my little jewelry kit. I don't know, a pair of scissors makes sense for her for some reason to me. And Rose is wearing a pink shirt under her blue dress in the first episode of the show. So I'm going to emulate that look by adding a collar that I'll sew off screen, and then I'll pair it with these little white shoes. They kind of look like Keds, which she definitely would wear. And then I'll add a pearl necklace made out of these little seed beads and some very thin copper colored wire. these little tiny details are the really fun part for me, because I love miniatures and I love seeing how you can interpret something in a different scale using ordinary materials like craft supplies. I've placed the collar that I've sewn together inside the dress, and I'm just going to fold it down to give it that nice crisp look that she has. And then we'll pair that with a belt in a little bit. Let's take a look at this hair. So I've had it wrapped up for protection this whole time, so it's a little gritty and gross looking. Using plastic straws and bobby pins, I'll section her hair and then roll it. And then I'll immerse the back of her head into boiling water in a small bowl for just a few seconds. I think I do about 10 to 15 seconds for this. I'm making sure not to get her face because I don't want to damage the paint that we've just done. And then I'll let that dry for a few hours. In the meantime, I'll use this clear nail polish to coat her eyes and lips. Our doll is almost complete, and we just have a few things left to do. I'm really excited at how much she looks like Rose Nyland to me. The hair is like a big deal because it can be so bad. I'm gonna start in the back. Oh, yes. So that's a nice curl. This poor woman's hair got clowned on the whole series. It's Rose had pretty coiffed hair. This is so awkward because she's like small. Girl, hold your head up. Girl, I said stay still. Why I keep doing that? That's the worst part about this is like she can't help you. Here we go. Something's happening. Okay. I think this might be the best we could hope for. I'm gonna spray this with some Pump It Up so that it'll sort of keep its shape. So my Pump It Up spray is not in its normal bottle because I'm a weirdo, but it's just this spritz that I use, and it's this clear liquid and it will harden like glass if you use enough of it. The hair I think is just right. We got that crunch, just a little crunch, which is necessary when you're dealing with doll hair, but like now it'll keep its shape and give us that, like, you know, that newscaster look that she had. I need to paint her nails and then glue on her earrings. And her earrings are literally just two of these beads. Oh my god. So now she has her earrings and she has her little jewelry suite. I'm actually gonna tack down her necklace as well. Nails, 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 nails. I'm going with this color because I have it. And it's like the most appropriate that I have. So there ye be. Okay. Hair, body, face. What else? I guess we just put her clothing on now. Well, I'm gonna let her nails dry. And then we'll be back one last time to wrap her all up. I think she's done. I hereby present to you a beacon of television magic, Sir Lord Dame Betty White as Rose Nyland of the Golden Girls. She is wickedly funny, incredibly intelligent, and she understands comedy in a way that I think very few people do. I could not be more proud of this doll. This is my first fully finished doll repaint ever, and it's a huge honor for me to try and interpret what she brings to that show and to that character into this little 10-inch doll. We got birds, we got planes, and we got Betty White. Betty White, if there is any chance in this universe that you are watching this, I just hope that you know how massive and indelible your impact has been, not just in my life and the lives of people who watch the Golden Girls, but in the entire industry of entertainment. This is a meager thank you for all of the wonderful work that you've brought to us. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you all for joining me today on Mr. Larry's Craft Show. Stay tuned for our next project. Who knows what it's gonna be, but I will see you all soon. Bye. And goodbye to you too.